All right, and welcome to another episode of the Brand Couch, this time from Reykjavik in Iceland, and we are Charge Energy Branding, and I'm sitting here with Karl from Ostrom. And hi, Karl.
Hi, very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. So, a bit about yourself, your company.
Yeah, so Karl, I'm one of the co-founders of Ostrom, focusing a lot more on the marketing and product. So Ostrom is a digital energy retailer in Germany, and I think what we've really been focused on is creating like a fair, transparent, and digital energy provider in a market where there's just lots of unscrupulous like energy tariffs and like a real lack of transparency. So that's really kind of like what we've been working on so far.
And this, me being from a Scandinavian country, this sounds like something rather obvious, right?
Yes.
It's like, we have digital energy providers, you can switch on an app, you can do all these kind of things. But the German market is a bit different from what I would say is normal, right?
Exactly. So I think smart meter penetration is like below 5%, whereas like in the Nordics, it's like 100% basically everywhere. So it's a very different market. The way we always say it is that Germany is 10 years behind where the Nordics are, but Germany will get there.
Right.
And what we really see is that there's over 1,000 providers in Germany.
1,000, okay.
Like 1,400 even. And they're all pretty much like variations on the same theme, right? So before we started, I kind of like made a huge database of all of them and then said like, okay, how about we run some kind of like NLP K-means analysis to like kind of like categorize them. And essentially, like almost mathematically, I was able to say that there are only two USPs that they push. Like discounter, like, hey, sign up to us because we're cheap, or like green shaming, like shame on you, you should be green.
Right.
But none of like the transparency, none of like awesome customer support, none of like digitalization. So this is kind of like really where we saw like a big gap in the market. And I think like Germany aims to be like 80% renewable by 2030. So being green is not a USP that will last in the future. Like if everyone's green, that's not the USP anymore. And I think like with the discounter energy, so lots of companies like didn't do well last year as like prices like went up and down. And this is where what we've been working on a lot right now is like a variable tariff. And soon we're entering our beta to really provide like integrated smart meter services in Germany.
Right, okay.
Again, you pointed out rightly that like this doesn't seem like so unique to the Nordics, but like in Germany, we would be basically like the second provider among 1,400 to do so.
Which is awesome. So just sort of going back or rewinding 20 seconds, you guys haven't been around for long, right? Sounds like your company has been around for a while, but you've actually just been around for like, what, a year?
Yeah, so we met January 2021, and then we basically launched May 2021. And so January, we were like, okay, let's build a website. Let's do kind of like all the back end, plus let's build like a very MVP app in 5 months. And I think, so my co-founder, when he was doing consulting with other energy providers, he's like, yeah, so some of them, like they do a year survey to decide whether they should build an app. And then for us, it was like 5 months, boom, let's go for it. So yeah, like we're just like a bit like a year and a half right now. And I think that's something like brings us a lot of great pride when people sign up to the website and they're like, wait, how many employees exactly are you guys? And then we always say, well, if we hire less employees, it means like we don't charge you as much and we can pass those savings to you. So I think this is really what we've been seeing a lot.
So you have a performance marketing background, right?
Yes.
So how's we're at a branding conference, obviously, with an energy sort of side to it and good music in the back. So how challenging is it to build a new digital brand in a relatively non-digital market as Germany is? How would you what are your challenges, opportunities? How did you go about it?
Got it. So I've worked in a lot of like performance situations, and also like I've worked in a B2B ad tech startup in Finland, and they're like really like amazing client base. But what we've seen there a lot is that there's always this constant fight between performance and brand, right? It's like, hey, the blue button has a 1% higher CTR versus like that's not on brand. And I've kind of like learned that these two are not kind of like at odds. They're really like one and the same, right? I can give like a really quick story of like, I think it was like when America became independent, it was like they were thinking of what to call George Washington. And I think it was something like Congress wanted to call him like king because like he needed to be like high stature, and Senate was like, we can't call him like a fancy title because like it will get to his head and we'll have a tyrant again. And apparently like the word president was essentially kind of like a presider. Like
Right,
it wasn't
yeah.
a prestigious title.
No.
But as America kind of like gained in influence, like other countries were like, yo, I want to be called president too, because that's a prestigious title.
Yeah.
And I think like for me, like, you know, we can do all the kind of like branding that we did at the start. But if we weren't performing, if we weren't kind of like having a good product, and if we weren't getting customers, it wouldn't really matter, right? So I think like the brand that Ostrom comes to be is also because we've been doing a good job on the performance side. So I see like them as the same time. It's like in the TED Talk, this one, I always use it as an example where, you know, it's not kind of the name that makes the thing. It's like how you perform that like makes the brand at the end of the day.
And then adding your uniqueness to it, and then creating that unique customer experience you're talking about, right? So what's next for you guys? I mean, you obviously want to grow in Germany. It makes sense. Are you looking to sort of conquer that market, go further? Are you looking at different services? What is sort of your next step?
So next step, which we're starting off already like end of this year, early next year, is like smart meter integration. Again, like would be one of the first in Germany to offer it. And then layer on a lot of the services, like with like, you know, EV charging, out of home charging,
the API kind of things.
Exactly, like heat pumps will kind of like increase as well. Germany has a big trend on kind of like at home solar, but then obviously like that can't provide all your power. So there's going to be kind of like another tariff plus like solar, like so lots of opportunities there. And what we really see right now is that from a European context, there's no pressure to internationalize right away.
Right.
Just because like Germany is kind of like the big and equally old market. There's lots of opportunity there. But what we really see as well right now is that, especially in kind of like the DACH region or like Eastern Europe, where there's still a lot of like coal usage, for example. I think these are like very interesting markets where we could potentially expand into the future.
Awesome. So if we have, and I had this exact same question a couple of minutes ago with another startup, if we had this conversation 5 years from now, where are you?
Probably one of the biggest or best utilities in Germany. It's like awesome. our vision,
Cool. Karl, thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much.
It's been 5 good minutes.
Yeah.
And if you want to know more about Ostrom, you can go to ostrom.de. And if you live in Germany, sign up. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.